guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to do my June book haul. I have quite a stack here, and this is going to be my last book haul for a while because, as you guys know, we are moving soon. I'm not planning on purchasing any more books. I don't know if anything else is going to come my way some other way or not, but I'm not planning to purchase anymore. So I am just going to show you what I have, and then I'll do another book haul after our move. Okay, so this first one here, I got a very sweet email from Melinda, and I had talked about Colleen Hoover earlier and talked about her books and how much I love them and that I had read this book and I didn't own it. When I read it, it was on my Kindle and I just haven't purchased a physical copy, but I knew I wanted to. So she sent me an email and said, I remember you talked about this and I saw it at Goodwill. It's in perfect condition, so I picked it up for you. Can I send it to you? And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So just, Melinda, thank you for even thinking of me. Like, I was floored. And she did. She sent it to me. So that's Ugly Love. Again, I have read this, loved it. It's one of my favorite Colleen's. All of hers are my favorite. But I absolutely loved it. So again, Melinda, thank you so much for sending this to me. I'm happy to add this to my Colleen shelf and just thank you. She also sent along a copy of a book from one of her favorite authors, and this is an author that my mom really enjoys, and she's been trying to get me to read something of his for a very long time, and I just haven't done it yet. And that is Harlan Coben. So she sent me Caught, and this is a standalone from him. I know he has some series as well, but he also has a lot of standalones, and a lot of them are like one-word titles, which is really cool. And I do know that some of them have been adapted, which is really cool. I have not read anything from this author yet, but I really want to. I've just haven't picked anything up and I haven't owned anything. So now I do. So thank you, Melinda, again, for your generosity and for sending me a new author to try. The next book I got was sent from a publisher, and this was sent to me from Berkeley, and that is Shudder. This is by Melissa Larson. This is a debut thriller novel that just came out on June 15th, so it is out now. And this is kind of an isolated cabin in the woods, crazy indie director, like what's really going on here type of thing. So we follow our main character who is kind of down on her luck. She's needing some changes in her life. So she's kind of living a little bit off the cuff, if you will. And she ends up meeting this director that she really admires. He's an independent director. He's a little quirky. And he offers to allow her to star in a production that he's doing it's kind of like a remake of Cape Fear, the movie. And she's like, I don't have anything to lose. Why not? And so she goes with him to a remote cabin in Maine. And I think from there, things start getting really weird. So I'm excited for this. I want some more isolated thrillers. I really like those. Just, physically, you can't get away from this situation. Those are something that I really enjoy. So I'm excited to try out this debut. Okay, so most of the rest of these I got at Savers. I took one little last trip there before we move because we're getting to that point now. So I was like, I'm going to go do one more sweep and then that's going to be it. So I got a nice little stack here, and then I have my book of the month as well. Okay, so at Savers, I found Ordinary Grace. This is by William Kent Kruger. I have not read anything by him yet, but I've heard really good things about his books and his writing, and especially this Tenderland. I think that's his most recent one, and so many people are raving about that one. So this is a book that follows a young man who is reflecting on his childhood in the 60s, where it was supposed to be like this great time, but his life took very different turns. He dealt with a lot of death from many different types of like accidents, murder, suicide, all that type of stuff. So it's him reflecting on what those times were, who these people were to him, and how he dealt with them. So I'm excited to give him a try and to see what I think about his writing. The next one I found is I Was Anastasia. This is by Ariel Lawhon. I have not read anything from this author yet either. This is now the second book of hers that I own, but I know that Lindsay really loves her as an author, and so she got me excited to try her out, and I found this for super cheap, so why not? This is a historical fiction that follows Anastasia Romanoff and, someone who is living who is she living as someone else? So that type of thing. I don't know too much about the Romanovs or Anastasia in particularly. So like, I think reading this will give me a little bit more insight into her. But yeah, I'm excited. Another author that Lindsay got me interested in. So this is all Lindsay's fault. We'll just go ahead and go with that. I got The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. I have heard amazing things about this book in particular and about her as an author. I haven't read anything of hers yet, but I now own, I think this is the third one of hers that I have now. I do know that she writes ghost stories very, very well, very creepy. And again, when you hear Jennifer McMahon, this is the one that I hear about all the time. So I grabbed it. I also grabbed American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I have wanted to read more Neil Gaiman for sure because I really do enjoy his writing. And I've read a couple of his books and want to just read most of them now. This one is one that has been adapted, and it's a show that my sister really enjoyed and was telling me I need to watch it. And I was like, well, I need to read it first. So we'll see if that happens. But this is a fantasy book, and I believe it's like a lot of demons and monsters and things like that. So kind of like an underworld almost type of thing from what I'm understanding. And yeah. I also found a copy of The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. Really, really want to read this one. I actually checked this out from the library recently and wasn't able to get to it before I had to take it back, and then someone put a hold on it. So this one really interests me because this follows a group of boys who are at this boys' home or like a school or something like that for boys. And they are terribly, terribly abused there. And it definitely looks at why these kids were being abused. Their race came into it because I believe our main characters here are Black. There are also white boys at this school, but they are treated very differently. And I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's really brutal. And the biggest thing about this is that this is based on a true story. This is based on a real school, and it was in, I believe, close to Panama City, Florida, which is very close to where I'm from. So it's not a story I've ever heard, though. I've never heard about the school, never heard it. So I think this will be a little bit educational as well. I know it's not a nonfiction, but it is based on true events that happened at the school. So very interested in this one. And a book that has been on my wish list for a very, very long time, and that is Fall and Rise, The Story of 9/11 by Mitchell Zuckoff. So this is a nonfiction that follows 9/11 by the timeline, basically. So like what happened that day in order, how things were unfolding. It's like minute by minute account of that day. This is going to be hard because I am definitely one of those people who I remember exactly where I was when those planes hit, and I watched it unfold on TV all day. And just to this day, when I see images of that day, I'm crying. Like, it never fails. I am always crying when I see images of that or videos or anything like that. Just seeing that unfold in real time was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. So, but I want to read more about it to get more of the details that, you know, either just weren't reported on right away, or, you know, since we've had time now, we can actually reflect and do the research and figure out things and see things as they happened. So yeah, but I was very happy to find this one. I also found a copy of a book that I have had my eye on for a while and just never had picked up yet, but that is Sea Witch. This is by Sarah Henning. This is a young adult fantasy that is an Ursula story from Little Mermaid. So I think it's like a, you know, Ursula before Little Mermaid type thing from what I'm understanding. Yeah, I've always been interested in this. It's always just been something I kind of kept my eye on and just never picked up, but I did now. And it's a beautiful, beautiful hardcover. Okay, and the last one that I found at Savers is Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain. So this one has to do with art. And it's a dual timeline. So you're following a woman in 2018, and she is assigned to restore something in her town. In her journey of restoring this piece of art, she is learning things about the artist and what was happening during this time in her town. And then we flash back to 1940 when this painting was created. And a lot of things start coming out about that. I believe this has very heavy topics about race in here as well, so that should be interesting. But Diane Chamberlain is quickly becoming a favorite author of mine. So definitely grab this one at the thrift store for cheap. Okay, 2 more. So these are my book of the month picks for the month of June. My main pick was definitely Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have loved all of her books that I've read so far. Excited to read this one as well. This is also one of my most anticipated books of the year. So definitely would like to read it sometime soon because I would ideally like to read all of those. But definitely like no brainer, I grabbed Malibu Rising. And the last one that I picked up was an add-on, and I was so excited to see it because this is one I've been really like eyeballing and wanting to grab, and that is The Other Black Girl. This is by Zakiya Delilah Harris, and this one takes place in the publishing world, which is exciting. And our main character is the only Black person who is working at this publishing house, and then another Black woman gets hired, so she comes in. And our main character is very excited because someone she can bond with, someone she can talk to. And however, the new girl, a lot of things start happening to our main character. Like she starts getting almost death threats on her desk and some weird things start happening to her. And it's all started happening when this new girl came in. So she's wondering what's going on. And I have heard this is like, it says contemporary, but I think it's more of a thriller, like a thriller type book. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Okay, guys, those are all the books that I have for the month of June. Again, not sure if anything else is going to make its way to me or not. I'm not planning on it, but I'm not going to do another haul until after our move. And yeah, so hopefully it'll be a while because I have a lot of books to read. So I'm just going to work on those for the next couple months. All right, let me know down below if you guys have read any of these books. Let me know your thoughts. What should I read soon? Let me know, and I will see you guys later. Hope you have a great day.